I'm outside the Victoria and Albert Museum, where I'm about to talk to the curators of an exhibition dedicated to the long history of trade, cultural and diplomatic relations between Russia and the UK.
Behind me is the spectacular English and French silver which we have borrowed from the Kremlin museums for this exhibition. The brilliance of being able to show this here in the V&A in a novel way, as a buffet, which is how the ambassadors would have seen it in Moscow, by visiting dignitaries paying their respects to the Tsar in the 16th and 17th centuries. We share a great love of literature. I am struck by the Russian engagement with some of our English literary giants. We are delighted to have been able to work so closely with our erudite colleagues at the Moscow Kremlin museums. I think their knowledge of Shakespeare and Dickens would probably put some of our knowledge of those two authors to shame. I'm very intrigued by the silver throne in the Kremlin Armouries Museum that was made for the Tsars in the late 17th century. We've organised an important international Anglo-Russian conference which will be held on the 14th and 15th of June, and with a special event which is a reception and a concert in the banqueting house at Whitehall, which is where the English monarchs received the Russian ambassadors in the 17th century. And we have a concert of music including two young Russian soloists. There are some initial ideas. An exhibition on the subject of St. George is one possibility. Of course, St. George was the patron saint of Moscow, and he's also the patron saint of England. Sergei Tugarinov is an extremely talented young violinist, and he is being supported by the Tsukhanov Family Foundation. He has a full music scholarship at Eton College, and I'm in fact delighted that he will be playing with Katya Tugarinov at this concert at the banqueting house at Whitehall, part of the celebrations of the Treasures exhibition here at the V&A, but at the time of this international conference. Few people know that the English have been trading with the Russians for 460 years. The Hermitage has one of the best collections of micromosaics and hardstones in the world. And so the V&A is hoping to work with the Hermitage on an exhibition on these subject areas, which may possibly be shown in Rome, which is where so much of those skills originated. It's the earliest surviving English coach. It was made in Smithfield, probably by order of Queen Elizabeth I, for presentation to the Tsar Boris Godunov. We have a special Friday late on Friday the 31st of May, it's the last day of May, it's easy to remember, on the theme of White Knights. And we have Richard Davis, who has spent 9 years photographing the wonderful wooden churches in Karelia, who will be speaking with Clementine Cecil, who runs Save Europe's Heritage. And Clementine has recently authored reports on the historic buildings of Moscow and the historic buildings of Petersburg. Early 17th century painting showing the Tsar receiving an embassy in the faceted chamber of the Kremlin Palace. We are about to display examples of Tula furniture from the V&A's own collections in our new European galleries, which obviously embrace Russia, which open next year. Presented by the Russian ambassador to Charles II in 1662 by Prince Prozorovsky. We very much hope to encourage Russian visitors from their mother country to come to England and engage with our exhibition and the activities that surround it.